Hi, I'm Margaret Morris-Calderon. I know Facebook is going to post this video with some weird face expression before it starts. They always do. My name is Margaret Morris-Calderon. I'm native Los Angeles, California, born and raised. I moved to Madison County, Huntsville, Arkansas in 1998. And I have had to deal with nothing but discrimination from Arkansans in the respect of me being from California, my region, native from, and moving here in 1998, ongoing. They still classify me as a Californian after I've been here, a taxpayer, for over 25, 26 years now. I am the only American disability citizen who's had to take Arkansas Department of Human Services appeals to district court in Margaret Morris-Calderon versus Arkansas Department of Human Services appeals and appeal my county and Arkansas in discriminating against me for SNAP benefits for food assistance in 1991. Traditionally, by federal law, the only people that have to report continually after being approved, which I was originally approved in July of 2019 for SNAP, and Kathy Tittman, manager, a former manager inside of Madison County Human Services Department, discriminated against me and refused to allow me SNAP benefits unless I reported each month. That kind of procedure is upheld for Native American Indians living in tribal areas, living on tribal land. When they're approved, they have to continue reporting every month their funds and their medical expenses and everything like that. If you are just an American citizen, disability, it's not a requirement, but it was imposed on me unlawfully without any Arkansas policy or procedures to support it. And I appealed from July 2019 all the way to December 2019 and filed inside a district court an administration appeals against the state. I'm the only American who's had to do that to have SNAP food benefits. I had to report my medical expenses, my miles I drove to my doctors. I was harassed every month in reporting them in appeals. I was scolded for reporting breast images that only occur once a month exams. So are my eye doctor traveling expenses. So are every other, my pap smears were one time month, and they were challenging me on my medical expenses every month. It was in malice, and it was harassment, and it went on and on and on, and my food was cut off in October when I didn't report, just to prove that it was malice. And the judge refused to acknowledge that the state withheld pages out of the filed documents that I reported, and the state held in hiding it. They would not submit all the paperwork, and the judge refused to acknowledge that and dismissed my case. But there was no cause for it. There was no cause for him to dismiss my case. He never did submit a cause. or a reason. There was no reason. I was disability, no earned income, and needing food assistance, just like millions of other disability people who worked over 25 years and couldn't keep up with the work environment as a disability person that were on SNAP food benefits, Americans. Now I am having to deal with, I am a senior citizen now, 65 years old, disability, living alone, no earned income, applied for the summer program in LIHEAP, which I did apply for winter in February 2025 and was approved, and that's called a long form. That's where it's extensive questioning and your identification is required, and proof that you are a disability person, where you submit what your new disability and Social Security deposits are for the new year and everything like that. It's a long form. So once you do the long form, you're in the system. You're in the state system for LIHEAP because it's extensive. They know how you get your income as a disability person, a permanent disability person. Anyway, it's not because of a broken leg or limb. It's I have a major disability in my neck and my back, so and my hip. So the summer program is a short form. It's just a few pages long and a submitting form and your ID. And when I submitted that at the the beginning of August, because they didn't send me an application, and I'm in the system, they neglected to send me an application. Once you're in the system, the applications for summer are supposed to automatically go out to the people in the system that did the long form. I was neglected, and so I called and asked for that long form, for that short form for summer, and it was mailed to me late. At July 30th I received it, so I did my short form response August the 5th, and so they got it by August the 6th. Everything was, there was no problems with my form, there was no mistakes on my form, and I did check off crisis questions asked for crisis assistance. Does your utility company send you a notice of you're behind in your payments? And I checked off box yes, I have that. I'm behind in my Carroll Electric payment for August, and I put my ID with that bill and submitted it, and that's what qualified me for crisis. It doesn't ask you, do you think you can make a minimum payment before it's shut off, before it's disconnected? It doesn't ask you a criteria if you can meet like $40 before it's disconnected or anything like that. It's supposed to be to prevent your utility from being disconnected. That's the whole point of crisis. That's the whole purpose of it, to support disability people and senior citizens to not have to be without utilities. And the Rogers, Arkansas OHC office, it's a county operation for LIHEAP, refused to acknowledge that I qualified for crisis and ignored me. And when I asked why, they said because you went and paid minimal payment of $43 the day before they disconnected your utilities. And so they were expecting my utilities to be shut off first, which is unlawful practice. It's a violation of federal government Disability Act to grant me my my pledge to my utility company. And so I appealed it. I appealed it, and by then I got a disconnection notice. I sent the appeals. Arkansas is the Arkansas Environment and Quality of LIHEAP operations in Little Rock. I sent them copies of my applications, my disconnection notice that came to me, and my original billing with my showing that I was behind in my payments. And they ignored me. They ignored me, and they continued to ignore me. And then they want to impose again on me to keep on reporting my utility bill. That nobody else in Arkansas has to do. Nobody. There is nobody in Arkansas who has to continually report September's electric bill when they qualify for crisis. There isn't anybody. The only people who have to continually report their electric expenses is Native Americans living on tribal land. And I told that to Kay Joyner in Little Rock, Arkansas Environment and Quality Utility for LIHEAP program appeals. I told her that. I said, I've completed my qualifications. I have submitted my billing that shows I was behind. I submitted a disconnection notice. I'm not required to keep on reporting on and on and on. On the August the 14th, I told her that. I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to keep reporting. That's harassment. It's malice. I qualify for crisis, utility assistance. This is harassment. I had to reschedule a telephone hearing with Medicare, Medicaid Judge for a medicine that I was, United Healthcare denied me on Medicare's policies for what medicines they cover. I had to appeal it, and I got an appointment with a Medicare judge to be heard on why I need this medicine and how it will benefit me. And I needed to prep me for hip surgery on my hip, and I had to reschedule it because I'm afraid my electric is going to be shut off this month. And my appointment for telephone appearance with this judge is this month in September. So I had to reschedule that. I had to reschedule, and to get that rescheduled, it ended up being in October, and away from having any utility disconnection interference, and then it fell on a doctor's appointment date. So then I have to reschedule my doctor's appointment date because of it. This is all malice, what this has done to my life. It's harassment. There's no policy that supports it. I told them I was not going to submit a September utility bill. Why don't they call Carroll Electric and find out what my September billing is? Why don't they call them? If they could deny me crisis because Rogers County Cat, she goes by Cat P. She won't tell me her real name. I know it's Catherine, but she won't tell me her last name. If she can call Carroll Electric and find out that I made a $43 payment the day before my electric was going to be shut off, for her to deny my crisis by, why can't they call to find out what September's billing is? See, so it's in harassment, and it's malicious. So they not only would not give me crisis, 30 days later, they still did not submit a pledge to my utility company, Carroll Electric. I called them today, and there is no pledge there. And even if I was just regular approved, they have 30 days to submit a pledge, and I didn't even get that. So I called back to Rogers County operations, and Kat or Kathy, whatever she wants to hide behind, says now I have to talk to appeals. I says, you are responsible for following Arkansas policies for LIHEAP. Arkansas policies for LIHEAP for regular assistance is 30 days to make a pledge to the utility company, and you aren't even giving me that. She refused to work with me. She refused to follow Arkansas policy laws. She refused to follow federal government laws and government funding a disability person applying for government assistance and utility assistance through LIHEAP. She refused to comply with anything legally and referred me to Arkansas Environment Quality in Utility for LIHEAP Appeals with Kay Joyner. And Kay Joyner is going, we want your September bill. And it's because if they get that bill from me, they can say it's an ongoing research. But if I don't submit that bill from September, then they have to rely on what was submitted to my application only. And that qualifies me for crisis. And they want to hide and pretend like it's an ongoing investigation if I submit September. I said no. I told you no August the 14th, and I'm telling you no again. I filed with the U.S. Civil Investigations and Justice System in D.C. with a complaint against Arkansas operations and LIHEAP. And I told you on August the 14th I was going to do that, and I did it. I filed in U.S. Department of D.C. for my civil rights. And I'm sticking to that. This is my civil rights I'm being denied, and my disability. So the disability advocates are my assistants also. I'm being violated in my American Disability Act, my rights to government funding and crisis assistance in LIHEAP, and they're trying to hide now. And I won't let them hide. And she just continued to badger me on the phone. Well, are you going to give me September billing? We want September billing. Who else has to give you September billing? Who else has to? Who else has to? Nobody. She can't tell me anybody. Nobody does. They apply for crisis. They submit a billing behind in their payments, and a disconnection notice, and then they're approved for crisis. They don't have to keep continually reporting on and on and on while the funds are being held back from going into the account for the utilities to stay connected. And that's what they're doing to me. I've contacted Tom Cotton's office. He just sent me a letter saying he just brushed me off. He didn't want to be bothered with it. He just said to contact my county's office in Rogers in OHC, contact Arkansas Environment and Quality Department in LIHEAP, which like I hadn't already done that, like pretending like I've not done anything. And they want to talk down to you and degrade you and not address the government aspect of it, that is government funds. I've called Sarah Huckabee, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee-Sanders' office. The telephone person there who answers the calls refused to allow me to make a civil complaint. He will not allow me to make a civil complaint. I have made complaints on other posts about Sarah Huckabee's operations, and other people have said the same thing, that they have called to request assistance from Sarah Huckabee's employees, and they get hung up on. They refuse to. Sarah Huckabee refuses to take any complaints. She refuses to do any government, any state official work for the citizens. She just has somebody there to answer the phone and says, okay, I will contact Arkansas Environment and Quality. And then you call 2-3 weeks later and he says, well, I haven't heard from them. And I say, well, I want to make a complaint because this is in violation of my civil rights. And he says, I tried contacting them. I'm saying, I'm not talking about contacting them anymore. I'm talking about making a complaint. I want to make a complaint, and I want to make a complaint about you because you're not allowing me to request the purpose of my calls. And he hangs up. He doesn't want to be discovered a lack of service. He doesn't want to allow any civil complaints be submitted, and he hangs up. And I've heard this from several Arkansans that say the same thing. So this month in September, I still don't have any pledge to my Carroll Electric billing. I've had to move my important appointments that are through Medicare, Medicaid, and continue being violated as a disability American from government services. So I probably will be in the dark this month. My electric will be disconnected. My company confirmed to me that there's no pledges still. It's been a complete malice and abuse that I have been going through with these employees in county and state operations. Republicans get angry when people speak up and criticize, but then they ask for it. They ask for it. Their conduct asks for it. They're calling us to be angry. They want us to be angry. So, I'm having to go to U.S. offices in D.C. because I can't get them to do their jobs. I can't get them to recognize me as a disability citizen. I can't get them to recognize me in anything. I'm the only person who's had to file in district court in America to eat. There's nobody else who's had to. I didn't get any attorney's assistance. I had to make my own briefs. I had to make my own motions, my own everything, because I can't get an attorney to help me. I can't get anybody locally to help me. They don't. Attorneys in Arkansas want instant money in their pocket. They don't want to work. They don't want to take on citizens' civil or disability violations. They don't want to, the basic simple stuff that's out there for anybody to see, they don't want to comply with. The federal laws in American Disability Act, in Arkansas policies for LIHEAP, basic stuff that anybody can look up, they don't want to do because it's not instant money for them. So Republicans need to apologize to Americans. They need to apologize, and they need to be more responsible for their behavior towards us, Democrats and liberals. I'm a conservative Democrat liberal. I have not brought harm to anybody in Arkansas. That I have been severely abused as a citizen in Arkansas. And if I could move, if I could afford to get out of Arkansas, I would. I would leave it.